back, adventurers. I have been talking about doing a review show at one point. It's actually going to be more the BCD horror type shows, but I thought I would do one on an experience I had yesterday. Um, I had the privilege of being able to get some tickets to go see Jacksepticeye's current tour here in the U.S. And I would like to say straight off up front that it was a wonderful show. He definitely knows how to reach an audience and how to even weave like a message in through all of his fun and shenanigans. And I really, give him props because it's a one-man show. He's basically up there by himself, and he is an incredibly funny guy. And I do not feel that in any way I wasted money going to see him. I mean, if you haven't gone or if you've already gone, um, he's done a really good job with this tour. I was impressed. However, um, I think I'm going to take you guys kind of on a little trip as to how my day went yesterday. Beyond the waking up and get ready to go. We live in Maryland. We had to drive to Philadelphia. Uh, didn't get lost, didn't get stuck in really bad traffic or anything. Got there in plenty of time. It was like the show was at 8 and we got there like I think around 5, 4 or 5. So we had time to pop over to IHOP, get some food. But I mean, to our shock, as we were pulling by the theater where he was performing, there's already a line, and this was a paid seating event. And we cannot figure out why people felt the need to just line up and stand in the cold. So we, went to IHOP for like an hour, and then came down and joined this massive line. I mean, it ended up, and I do have a couple of photographs that will be in the video, all the way up and around the bend for a paid venue, and that's not the venue's fault or anybody's. That's just, it's really weird that people came that early for something they knew they already had a seat for. But, and while we were in line, we met a couple people, and they were really fun, and the one girl asked if this was my actual eye color, because I had just noticed this before we went too, is that actually the color of his mascot, Sam. So they said I had Sam eyes, but and the people there were very not. Everybody was talking, joking. It was a nice crowd. They weren't acting really, like deranged, like people can be when they get into a crowd, especially when they're waiting to get somewhere. Now, the whole time we were out there was this guy who periodically walked up and down with a megaphone telling everybody, if we see you with your camera out during the show, there's no second chance, we're kicking you out, you're done. And basically, and it was actually freaking out a lot of the younger people in the line, the tweens and into the teenage, thinking that, everybody had a cell phone on them. So most of us were at least smart enough to order our tickets so that our, is on the phone and they could just scan it. And so anyways, this guy, he's coming up and down, and he's just, if you do this, you're out. If you do this, you're out. I understand maybe putting the fear into people a little bit, but a lot of people in the line were really starting to get concerned that they weren't actually going to get to see the show. I mean, this was at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia. The Tower Theater is an old historic theater. I mean, there's been people like Carlin and stuff that have performed there. And it makes me sad to say that I don't think it was the proper venue for this kind of show. And I'll tell you why. I mean, first of all, like that gentleman, most of the staff was not friendly at all. The people that worked the bar, the people that worked the food concession stands were pleasant. But any of the ushers or anything, you felt very pushed around. And in fact, going into the theater the way they had it, it was straight, you felt like cattle, And I know there's got to be, you have to have organization. You can't just have people doing whatever they want. You know, and they were actually doing the metal detector and stuff at the door as you went in. So you still had to have that bottleneck, but bottleneck along with all these people who are being short with you and outright, I felt nasty. I mean, a couple of people that were really, really rude. And I'm just thinking, well, why are these people even here today? You know, they obviously aren't happy being here. You know, this doesn't give them any kind of joy. They're being mean, you know, and I mean, basically pushing people the direction they want them to go. And so now we're inside, okay? And that's why I have peripheral neuropathy in my feet. It feels like I'm standing in a campfire 24/7, up to my ankles. Along with that, I have a previously damaged knee that I have a problem. I mean, I have a problem getting around easily. And in fact, I do not leave my house very often, to be quite frank, because I'm afraid people are going to basically push and shove me. So, you know, I'm already out of my element being there because it's just, I mean, I don't even hardly go see movies anymore. But so I'm in this huge public environment, and I heard people say that it was like over 2,000 seats in this place. And it's easy to believe because you're practically sitting on the person next to you. These seats are so close together and so small. But, you know, I go in, we've just been on a trip, just eating and everything. I decide I'm going to use the restroom before we get to our seat and stuff. And these people tell us the bathroom's downstairs. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go, and first of all, you know, these are marble stairs. They can be slick as can be if they're wet and stuff. And so I'm trying to, you know, balance it so my knee's not taking all the stress, you know, going down and it was a couple flights of stairs to get to this a dank bathroom. And I don't mean it in good sense. I mean that like Resident Evil dank bathroom. It was disgusting. And it smelled like a barnyard. Like I could seriously imagine that when they don't have events at the theater, they keep barnyard animals in this bathroom. And so, you know, did what I needed to do and drag myself back up the stairs, which at this point my knee is starting to ache, and get up the stairs back to the first floor, and hubby says, well, we have to go upstairs. That's where the loge is. And I said, okay. So there's like another 4 flights of stairs to go up on stairs that don't even have the banister isn't even proper. You can't, they're right up against the wall, so you can't even get your hand around them to balance. It's just kind of like something to lean on. So, and by the time I get all the way up there, you know, out of breath and whatnot, like I said, I'm not like out there jogging every day because of the feet and the knees and everything. So it was an incredibly hard venue to navigate. If you have any kind of an issue, if you have a back issue, hip issue, knee issue, foot issue, leg issues, unless you're on the first floor, I wouldn't even bother going to that theater. So get up there. And as soon as I get up there, all the way up into the loge area, then I get told, oh, there's a bathroom up here. And I'm like, so basically you made me go all the way down to your nasty basement to come up here and find out that it was a much better bathroom. It was a nice bathroom. You know, it was a clean bathroom, didn't smell. So that irritated me. So then we're getting shown to our seats, and the way the stairs are built, they're very short stairs, but they're long. So, and there's like no handrail anywhere. You know, you basically, if you get off balance, you're grabbing somebody's head or the back of a chair. And so we got in, we got seated and everything and situated, and we're waiting. And as the seats filled up around, a lot of screaming tweens. And they didn't waste a second screaming. I mean, we were both like, okay, now we have headaches and no hearing anymore. But when the show started, it was very energized then, And like I said, the show was great. There was a great energy to the show. People were happy, laughing, carrying on. Sometimes a little too much, but it was fun. It was not unpleasant atmosphere. But then at the end of the show, you got 2,000 people trying to get back out that same bottleneck at the same time, and they had cut the lines into people going for merchandise or people who were ready to leave. Now, we didn't grab merch on the way in because, first of all, it was a very tiny table. I am shocked that they did not have merch on every floor. There's 3 floors to this place. They could have had a merch booth on each of them. But so there's only one way was to funnel in through the upper stairway, or the stairway on the loge level. So all the balcony people, the line went up into the balcony and beyond. It was wrapped around up there. And I'm taking this from the people that were coming down the stairs because I wasn't going up another flight of stairs in this place. And I mean, I'm not going to say that one time it wasn't a gorgeous theater, but now it looks pretty run down, and it just isn't conducive to the kind of atmosphere that was going on last night. I mean, I suppose if you were coming to like watch like somebody sing or something, and it was like older people who weren't running around and acting out and whatnot, maybe it'd be a different story. So I wasn't walking up another flight of stairs, so I was just standing on the loge level waiting for this whole snake to wrap around. And as I'm doing so, of course, more people and more people and more people are adding to the line. There had to have been 1,000 people in the line for merch. Maybe 750, but it was a long, long line. I mean, there were parents outside freaking out, wondering when their kids were going to get out so they could go home, And they're up there in this mess. It was the dumbest way to set up merchandise I've ever seen in my life. And then Mr. Megaphone Man comes back and is snarling around on the loge level, talking about how all they have left is beanies, that they're out of merchandise. And I'm like, I would think that would be like one of the simplest things to grasp is that, hey, you've got 2,700 people in or however many it was, over 2,000 people. You should have more than 2,000 merchandise, You should be able to have people buy the merch. I was phenomenally disappointed by that. I've been trying to get a T-shirt to represent the YouTubers I like. There's one out there that's got Markiplier and Jack, and it says, "My heroes wear headphones and scream like little girls." That is like my favorite T-shirt of all time. And periodically, it comes up for sale via, through Facebook, through these little T-shirt places. But it's always on a timer, and I can never find it. I've never found it anywhere that it wasn't on a timer, and I missed getting it. So I was psyched about getting like the How Did We Get Here tour shirt. I wouldn't even gone for like a cap if it was, but I hate beanies, and I'm not going to wear them. And it wasn't worth me standing in line for like the next 3 hours. So, we, reluctantly decided, screw it, we're going home. Hopefully Jack will put this stuff up on his merch site after the tour or something for people who got screwed at venues that ran out of stuff. Because, I mean, that was going to be a big thing for me. It wasn't you don't know. They have VIP where you could actually meet Jacksepticeye, and in fact, we might have even bought those tickets if they hadn't sold out like as soon as the lines opened. So there was none of that, but I was perfectly happy to take away a tea or something as a souvenir of having gone to the show and stuff, and I wasn't even allowed to have that. I mean, there wasn't a program, there wasn't anything. The only thing I actually got at the venue was somebody was handing out these little green pieces of paper so that you could cover the light in your phone and you change the color to green. Yay, you know. Um, but and the whole terrifying people about the phones was ridiculous since um, Jack. It seems like Jack tends to take like 5 minutes out to let people take a snapshot or two for their memory wall or whatever, and you know I just, like I said, I turned my phone off. Like as soon as they said turn them off, I turned them off because I didn't. I have a head, and a brain and eyes, and I can remember seeing the show and enjoying it. But having a couple of pictures is nice, and we did get a couple, and one of the actual logo for the tour that will probably be placed somewhere in this video, along with the footage, the couple shots I took of the crowd. But I just I just wanted to point out how much a venue matters. You got to think about, what if people can't get around? We weren't expecting that. The Tower Theater also does not have on their website stuff like that. If you have a problem with feet, you need to get something on the lower level, or because we were not expecting all these levels. I was expecting to be more like a regular venue. So, and it was it's an old converted theater, is what it is. And I mean, they spared no expense at making sure they got as many people into it as they could. Which is great for Jack. I mean, I'm glad he has been selling out all his shows. He seems like a really nice guy. And I'm always willing to say, hey, nice guy. But having such an unpleasant atmosphere surrounding it kind of took something away from it. And like I said, not even having a button or anything that said that I went and saw the show. I bought Markiplier's Tasteful Nudes calendar, and it's going to be right back there as soon as it comes. I've got my little Pop Skarsgårds back there because I enjoy their work. I like to show off the people that I have come to appreciate or who have inspired me. If it wasn't for Mark, Jack, Pewdie, and the bunch, I never would have even thought about turning on a camera and talking to people like this. So, I mean, I have to thank them for something. And it's definitely inspiring me to do this. I had other people that inspired me on Twitch, but for YouTube, these guys were the go-to guys for me. Matthias, them. And Matthias started it all because he had Markiplier on his show. Before that, I didn't even know him. But, I've grown to admire these guys. They don't seem like the self-centered crowd. They are definitely nice people. They do a lot of charity work, and just in general, they're very fun. I do wish that Markiplier would come to the East Coast in an area where I can actually attend a show, but oh well. Got to see Jack, and and like I said, I was stoked. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from the show because he's one little YouTuber guy on a big old stage. What's he gonna do? And if you read, if you listen to his vlogs leading up to these different shows, he's talking about it's more of a stand-up kind of thing and whatnot, and it worked really good because he put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into it. This wasn't just, hi, I'm Jacksepticeye. I know I'm popular, so I'm just going to stand here for a while and you can gaze upon me. It was a real well put together show. It came around to life topics, but in a fun way. I mean, it was the kids were having a blast with it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And I mean, I honestly can't say anything bad about the show whatsoever. But the venue was a whole lot of suck. And I'm actually sad that had to put that kind of a curve on the evening, because the evening would have been phenomenal. You know, if I had walked out, had a shirt, hadn't felt like I was bullied and pushed around by staff of all people. I mean, if you don't like to work with people, maybe you shouldn't work in a people industry. You know what? I don't like to work with people. Do I work in a people industry? No. I mean, not like contact people. I've done that. I've done the retail and stuff, and I know I'm not a people person that way. Which would also mean I would never work a venue like that, because people get on my nerves. But in closing, I would like to say, I mean, it was really a good show. I think the kids probably came away with a very positive message. He's got this whole PMA thing going right now. They were chanting it, and hopefully maybe he'll have reached a few of these kids, and if they are having, issues in their lives, because those years are so tough, give them ideas on better ways to deal with the problems. He told a lot of anecdotes about when he was a kid, and it was funny. I mean, it was straight up funny. So, in conclusion, I would like to say, keep that weird light shining so the rest of us can find you, and I will see you in my next video.